All right, beautiful. Let's talk. A few weeks ago, I almost didn't post the website template I created for doulas on Etsy, but not because it wasn't ready or because I didn't believe in it, but because I got stuck in that loop of I could make this better. And then I almost didn't upload the YouTube video I made on shortening URLs. And I kept thinking, maybe I should edit it more. Maybe I should wait until I get better at video. Maybe someone else has already done it and they probably did it better. And I'm sure that you're over there on the other side, listening, nodding your head, and thinking, yep, that's me. That voice inside that tells us to wait or whispers that we're not ready, that convinces us that it's not perfect, it's not worth putting out. That voice, it is not helping you. In fact, it's keeping you from the very thing that will make you better. If you've ever felt paralyzed by perfectionism, afraid of judgment, or stuck in the cycle of overthinking, then this episode is for you. Because today I'm talking about the mindset shift that changed everything for me. That done is better than perfect. And so by the end of this episode, I hope that you can walk away with a new way to think about perfectionism that will really help set you free. That mindset shift that helped me finally start putting my work out there to the world, and a simple action plan to really help you move forward even when it doesn't feel comfortable. So let's get into it. Welcome to Heart-Led CEO, the podcast for women wellness entrepreneurs who are ready to build, scale, and automate their businesses without sacrificing their soul, sanity, or authenticity. I'm Anna Connie Walters, a nurse turned entrepreneur, military spouse, first-time mama in my 40s, and a recovering burnout survivor who's making it a mission to help heart-led women just like you create thriving businesses that really feel good, do good, and give you the freedom that we all deserve. Because here's the thing, you don't have to hustle harder to succeed. You don't have to drown in tech overwhelm or try to do everything alone. And I'm here to give you the strategies, automation tools, and mindset shifts that will help you step fully into that leader, CEO, and impact maker that you are meant to be. If you're ready to grow your business in a way that aligns with your values and your life, you are in the right place. Let's get into today's episode. I was really feeling called to create this podcast, and this is my very first podcast episode, and I just was really driving myself a little bit crazy, overthinking about what to talk about for my very first episode. And when I thought about how to create Heart-Led CEO podcast, I didn't overthink it. I didn't wait for the perfect moment. I just knew that this is what I needed to create. Because if there's one thing that I've really learned in my journey from nurse to entrepreneur, from burnout to finding this balance in my life, from really having a lot of doubt and anxiety to feeling really fearless and confident, is that the work we are meant to do isn't supposed to stay inside of us. And this Heart-Led CEO podcast for basically women wellness entrepreneur was really more about helping them be ready to step into their power, building those thriving businesses so that they could lead with impact without burnout, without that tech overwhelm or the fear of getting it all wrong. And so every episode that I create is just my reminder that I'm already enough, that my voice matters, and that my dreams are worth showing up for right now exactly as I am. And I want to make sure that you feel exactly the same. So as we dive into this episode, just know that I am with you. I am your sister in arms, and we will get through this. So perfectionism is truly a fancy name for fear. And I want to be real in that perfectionism isn't actually about high standards. It's this simple thing that it's fear. It's just another name for fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, maybe that we're not enough. And so as long as you keep letting fear hold you back, it's never going to get easier. And I really held back because I didn't want to be seen as messy or inexperienced or not as good as some other people that are out there putting the same or similar content. And I really convinced myself that I just needed more time or more practice or a better setup, better editing skills. And I just really stayed in this paralysis cycle of learning and never actually like taking that next step beyond my comfort zone and actually like create, like take everything that I've learned and actually put it into action and really record the podcast, record the YouTube video. And at the end of the day, when I think back at what I was really doing, was that I was just protecting myself from the discomfort of being seen as a beginner. And I almost didn't post this doula website template on Etsy because I thought, what if people don't like it? Like the normal imposter syndrome stuff that plays all of us. I almost didn't upload my YouTube video from this week because I thought, what if it's just not professional enough? We get caught up in comparing ourselves to everybody else out there doing something similar, thinking that the YouTube or the podcast scene is just washed out with everybody else better than us, more experienced than us, or just better in the sense of like they have a more polished voice and they don't have this ability to just get off topic or get really nervous and their voice cracks or whatever it is. They have better lighting, they have a better camera. All I have is my iPhone. Like these were all the things that used to plague me and keep me super paralyzed. And it really is that if I had let those fears stop me, I really would not have had a single product in Etsy. I probably would never have become a stand-up paddleboard instructor. I would have never become a yoga instructor. I would have never created 3 YouTube channels. And this podcast literally would not exist. And so I want you to think about the women that you admire in the industry, because no one starts out perfect and we all learn by doing. And Leonie Dawson did this incredible 3-day training where she talked about how we're so crucial about ourselves and that we really need to learn about how we parent, because when we parent, especially if you're a first-time parent, you know that every little thing that your child does, like, oh my gosh, they sucked on their thumb for the first time, or they drooled all over the place and I had to change their shirt like 3 times, it means that they're growing teeth. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing and wonderful. Or the first time they take a poop or whatever. And for us, it's like, oh my God, they're perfect. They're amazing. I can't believe that they're growing up so fast. But when we stumble or hit our heads or whatever, we are the meanest people to ourselves. And so I really started to think about that when I started to like just think about myself and when we look at or think about the people that we admire, whether they're coaches or they're business owners, maybe they're wellness entrepreneurs who really maybe inspired you to do what you're doing now, they seem to have it all together now. But you know that they all have the same thing in common. They started before they felt ready. They weren't great at first, and they showed up. They put in the reps. They got better by doing, by practicing. And it's the same thing if you're a doula, a midwife, a nurse, a yoga instructor, a paddleboard instructor, a Reiki instructor. Your skills, your ability to teach, your intuition, it gets better. You know, because you've done this for yourself in your own business. It gets better with each person. It gets better with each class. Your audience, your future clients, the people who you were meant to learn from you, they don't need perfect. They need you. They need your voice, your perspective, your imperfection. And really, the cost of waiting for perfect comes at a huge cost. It comes at no podcast episodes. It comes at no Etsy shop, no YouTube, no growth, no women healed and transformed and inspired, because Perfectionism has stolen your momentum. And instead of obsessing over whether something is good enough, what if we just let it be what it is? Your best effort for today. I am constantly saying in my classes, you are doing the best that you can. And honey, that is enough. We all can take it. If you're a parent, the first time you've ever done it, you do not know what you are doing. You feel awful about yourself every day. Easily you could, if you allowed those awful thoughts run through your head. But instead, we try to give ourselves grace that we do not know how to raise. We are not inherently born with the ability to raise a human and take care of them. We have to learn that. And every day, especially that very first year that I had my son, I was like, I am doing the best I can, and that has to be enough because that's it. Like, I don't have anything else to give. I am learning every day, and every day that I feel like I was a failure or I didn't do my best, well, I basically just do it so that I can be better the next day. And so because done is better than perfect, done means progress. You have to change that mindset that done means experience. Done means that you showed up for yourself and your dreams. And I think we forget about that and we become obsessed on whether or not something is good enough, and then instead forget that we did the best that we could. We showed up for ourselves, for our clients, and it might not have been like your best day ever, but for that day it was your best because maybe you were dealing with a lot. Maybe your kids were sick, maybe your spouse was deployed, maybe you were up all night because you had a client who had like a really hard labor and you've been up for 72 hours or whatever. There's so much that we don't give ourselves grace for, and we just feel this constant pressure of like, nope, I got to be on top of my game. And so what I want you to do, your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is that I want you to post the thing. I want you to upload the video. I want you to publish your blog. I want you to launch your offer. I want you to reach out to somebody who you've been dying to work with as a dream client. I want you to sign up for that training to become the doula, to become the midwife, to step up your game if that's what you really want. Because every episode, every class that you teach, every product that you launch, every single time that you put yourself out there, my love, it's making you better. And one day you'll look back at what you created and realize that wasn't perfect, but it got me to where I am today. So I hope that something in this episode gave you the courage or the inspiration to take action. And I look forward to recording so many more podcasts throughout the rest of this year as we get started. And I can't wait to hear from you and keep cheering you on. All right, beautiful. That's a wrap on today's episode. But before you go, let's talk about something really important. You are not just another entrepreneur trying to figure things out alone. You are a wave leader, someone whose work is meant to create real impact, touch the lives of others, and make this world better. And I want you to know you don't have to do it alone. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love to keep this energy going inside of my free Facebook community, Empower Her Biz Collective. It's where we take these conversations deeper with live trainings, tech walkthroughs, and real heart-centered support from other women wellness entrepreneurs who really get it. So if you're ready for community, clarity, and support as you build your own business with heart and ease, I'd invite you to come and join us. You'll find the link in the show notes. And hey, if you love today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review if you feel inclined, and share this with a fellow heart-led women entrepreneur so that we can build this movement together. Until next time, keep leading with heart.